My ace boon coons, que lo que? What up? How y'all doing? Today's video is going to be based on Stargates. Something very, very fascinating that I believe exists. Let's start it. Let's set it off like this.
The locations of the 12 Stargates on Earth. Stargate 1, located in the Painted Desert, Arizona, USA, near Sedona. Stargate 2, Jerusalem, Israel. Stargate 3, Nepal, in the Himalayan mountains. Stargate 4, Giza, Egypt, beneath the Great Pyramid. Stargate 5, Machu Picchu, Peru. Stargate 6, Caucasus Mountains, Russia. Stargate 7, Lake Titicaca, Peru. Stargate 8, Xi'an, China. Stargate 9, Lhasa, Tibet. Stargate 10, Abu Dhabi, Iran. Stargate 11, Vale of Pusey, England. Stargate 12, Montségur, France.
Ooh, how you know though?
The location.
Where'd you get this piece of information, son? Huh? Twitter? X? Hold up. I got more. Yeah, today's video is going to be on portals and Stargates. I just saw the movie Stargate for the, I don't know, second time in a long time. Yesterday it was pretty, it brought this thought to mind. Let's do a Stargate video. Portals exist. I believe it. I think the science to it is real. Peep it.
I asked him the question. He said he travels through a Stargate. Isn't that interesting? So I'd asked him, please indulge me with this Stargate. Now, either he knows things, he studies, I don't know. But the Book of Enoch talks about 12 portals. There's 3 on the east, 3 on the west, 3 on the north, and 3 on the south. Seriously, it's in the Book of Enoch. It talks about 12 portals. It does. It's in there. Get the Book of Enoch. Read it.
Okay.
The Gulf War started in 1990. And they say in the community, in the UFO, in the community, paranormal community, that they were looking for a Stargate. All of a sudden, 1994, this movie comes out. Stargate. And when I was fascinated by this movie. I don't know why, but I was drawn to it, and I watched it over and over and over again. I bought the movie. I bought several copies of them. I wore it out. I never heard of this story. I never heard of this. They were looking for a Stargate. I didn't hear about this until the last couple of years, that they had been looking for a Stargate. I never heard nothing about this, even with my ex being in the Gulf War, them looking for a Stargate. So all this is something I never heard about until now. I guess a couple years. But I was still drawn to this movie.
You said that already. Get to your point.
It's really weird. But then I find out about the situation with Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie. That, this is, you guys, it's just so crazy, that the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind is based on a true story. That there was real footage, 600 feet footage, real footage of a UFO landing at Holloman Air Force Base, that they were going to give, Pentagon was going to give to a documentary. A guy was making a documentary. I got the names and stuff. It's actually all documented. This is actual truth. So for those of you who are saying, give me proof, you find it. Google it yourself. It's on some documentaries. I'm not giving you all that information because
I'm not going to bore you with this. Hold up. All right, that was about a 10-minute video. I was not going to put you through that because the lady's rambling over and over again. But the point of her video is still interesting. The real here's the reason. The real reason of the Iraq War in the 90s was to find a Stargate, to recover a Stargate in Iraq. Desert Storm was the 1990 war in Iraq, something like that. So basically, there is some truth to what she's saying. She's saying that in the movie Stargate, uh, they talk about how we came from a different planet. We were seeded by aliens. We were an experiment. Now, I think there might be some truth to it. Not all truth, but there might be some truth to what she's saying. Anyway, this video's gotten a lot of retweets and a lot of likes. It's a long video, in my opinion. I think she does a lot of rambling, but I see where she's going with it.
He found this ring, a big ring, and didn't know what it was, but saw this strange writing on these strange symbols on this ring. So then he and another person walked through it to look at the other side, and lo and behold, they got into some other sphere, as if they walked into another dimension.
And this ring, so the audience knows, we're talking like what diameter?
It's probably 25 feet
Right.
in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
And
the sphere was even larger than that.
Oh, as they walked into it, it was like a new world.
Mm-hmm.
As he explained in his diary,
Right.
it was like a new world. And he couldn't figure out how he got from one place, an enclosed sarcophagus almost, into this open area.
Is this a portal of some sort?
Well, today we would call it a portal
Mm-hmm.
or a Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would refer to it today as a Stargate.
Stargate.
But back in those days, in 1928,
Yeah, they didn't know.
It wasn't. No, they didn't know what it was. But when he walked into it, it was as if he was in a new world. It was an open area, plush pastures. He sees a river, which he assumed to be the Nile, and he sees almost a movie occurring, showing people building these pyramids. And he's in there, he thinks, for maybe an hour, but when he comes out, he's been there for 3 days. He's been for over 72 hours because the crew that he came with were scared. They got out of that tunnel and got out into the open because they thought that they ended up on some other side.
Or it swallowed them up.
Or swallowed them up. And so, but 3 days later, they come back out.
How many of the team went with him?
Only 2.
Only 2.
But there was 6 other team
Right.
members, 8 total. And so those other 6 left, but they stayed up in the area outside where they had an encampment. And eventually, 3 days later, the colonel and his assistant comes
Right.
back out, and he talks of this new world that they found, and that he knows now how these pyramids were built. He knows where they are located. He knows that there's tunnels under each one of them, and he sees these strange-looking beings, and this is in his diary,
Right.
strange-looking beings that are probably not from Earth. Now, he says this in his diary, and this is 1928.
Right.
So then decide to make another camp. They had to go get supplies to come back because they were only had enough supplies for, a few days or a week or something like that. But they did, and they brought more people back. This time they brought back from some local people. And they tried to explain through an interpreter to these local people what they had found. And these local people didn't want any part of going down there. They seemed to be aware of maybe the rumors or the legends about this particular tunnel. But the colonel he wasn't afraid to go back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he went back with another person, a different person, not the same that he went the first time. So they go down there. This time they're prepared. They have supplies, they have water, they have things. Because although they saw water going through there, they didn't know if they should drink it or not. Anyways, they walk through. This time he's closer to where they're building a pyramid. He sees these strange things in the sky that are flying around with these large bricks. He's stumped. He can't understand what these things are that are flying, although during that time period, there were airplanes, conventional airplanes,
1928, right, yeah.
single-engine airplanes in the 1920s. We had them during World War I. Right. But they didn't look like any of those type of aircrafts. And remember, he's a British colonel, and he'd been through war, and he knew airplanes. He'd been through World War I, but he couldn't understand and couldn't rationalize what these other things were.
And they're holding these giant blocks.
Right. And it's like a movie. He sees these things happening, and he watches this pyramid being built. But he also sees this underground area where there's tunnels, and there are a vast amount of people working in certain tasks down there. Some people are baking, some people are doing some kind of a work, like a painting or a carpentry work, and then some are lying down on what he refers to as a conveyor belt. And these bodies are like moving in to this tunnel. So he's down there for about a week, he's estimating. When he comes out, now he has a story to tell. He documents all this in his diary.
If he was a week down there, when he got back, was he gone for 4 weeks? Did he say
No,
anything?
he came back and it was a week missing,
Oh, okay.
missing time for a week. And then he goes back. He eventually gets back to the UK, and he tells his story to a society, and none of them believe him. They didn't believe him.
not.
They didn't believe a word he said,
Right.
even though he had two witnesses, because he brought two different people, took two different people in there. So they said, no, we don't believe you. This is impossible. What you say is not feasible. But he keeps this. Now, jump ahead to 1940.
All right. So that looks interesting. Basically, the movie Stargate's a documentary. So did you know that in 1928, the first of the lost Tartarian Stargates was discovered in the Sudan? That's the story this man was telling. Fascinating. Let's hear some more. All right, how many of y'all remember Max Spears? If you don't, check him out. He ended up dying in 2016 while he was visiting a friend in Poland. But he had some very interesting stories. Kind of makes you go, can it be real? Because he sure as hell makes it sound real.
Which is the frequency that holds this together. They were attacking to go to the museums to find that out. Yes, absolutely.
Like Saddam Hussein?
Well, he had technology. He had hold of technology. He had hold of Stargate technology. That's one of the reasons why he was at one point, he was one of the most powerful men on the planet. And the technology that he had was off the charts.
Now, this is very similar to what John Irwin has said in his book, One Step Beyond the 16.
Yes, yeah.
Amongst other things.
Yes, he had that. It's sort of similar to there's a movie called Contact, and that spinning thing there, which is able to shoot you through to different dimensions. So he had something similar to that. There's a few of them around, but he had control of that.
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. And, something's wrong. It's a whole world of deceit. We're going into Iraq to get artifacts? Not to get anything but artifacts. That was the most important thing, they said.
But which artifacts?
I don't know. They just said artifacts. There were things in Iraq that were so old that we had to go get. And Bush wanted those artifacts. It was very important.
Did we get them? And if so, where did they go?
We got them. They said they got everything they needed from that country.
Where is it?
I don't know. We have it. Like, you're looking for the Ark of the Covenant type stuff. Weapons like that. It's a weapon. Supposedly it has a power to kill, and you're not supposed to look upon it or anything.
But the man who was talking about this never used any phrases like Ark of the Covenant.
Never. He just said artifacts. Ancient artifacts that were so important, we had to get them, and we got them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
My boy. Fascinating. Max Spears, check him out. MAXSPIERS. You be the judge. I'm not telling you to believe all this. I'm just saying. Think for yourself. Don't let CNN or Fox think for you, brothers and sisters.
Participant in DARPA's Project Pegasus, which was the U.S. time-space program at the time of the emergence of different forms of time travel in the U.S. defense technical community. It's been concealed from the American people. Nikola Tesla's papers from his apartment in the New Yorker Hotel in Manhattan, New York, that had been seized by the War Department upon his death on January 7th of 1943. 25 years later, by 1968, the U.S. defense community had pioneered Tesla teleportation, which is the capability to open up a vortal tunnel in time-space through which somebody can pass. And by the fall of 1970, had found a way to adjust the time of the arrival of the individual via teleportation, backward or forward in time. Participant in DARPA's
time machine, basically, right? Stargate. These ancient stargates were discovered all around the world in the late 1800s. I don't know. Those are some fascinating photos. Could it be AI, though? I don't know. I'm not telling you to believe this. Fascinating all indeed. I do believe Stargates are real, though. I do believe we can time travel, y'all. Definitely do. Why do you think we're seeing so many UFO sightings now? And why is the government saying now we want to show you how real these UFOs are? I don't know. I do believe the more the government talks about it, the less I believe it. But do they exist from another world? Hell yeah. I think heaven has technology, dude. I'm gonna stay on topic here. This is not it's not off topic, but look at these colors are very intense. I've never seen flowers with such intense purples and bright whites. Check it out.
Well, this is pretty much the most dense I've ever got them. It's pretty hard to count how many there are because they are so dense. Everywhere. Look at the colors. It's like you could
cool.
Go right in there. Well, this is pretty much the most.
That was dope. They look like little Stargates. So cute.
Not just relics of science fiction, but a reality hidden by the sands of time and guarded by the ghosts of the ancient Sumerian Anunnaki gods. There are gateways scattered across the earth, hidden within ancient ruins and lost civilizations, waiting silently for the key to unlock their cosmic potential. These are not mere constructs of stone and mortar, but sophisticated devices capable of bending space and time, connecting distant points in the universe with a mere step. Known by many names across different cultures, a stargate is believed to be a portal or gateway not of earthly construct, but of cosmic origin, capable of instantaneously transporting beings across vast distances of space and perhaps even time. Unlike conventional means of travel, stargates offer a bridge between worlds, realms, or dimensions, defying the known laws of physics and opening the door to infinite possibilities. The idea of stargates is not confined to the realm of science fiction, but is deeply rooted in the mythologies of ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Mayans, from the Mesopotamians to the Incas. Stories abound of gods and celestial beings descending to earth or ascending to the heavens through these mystical gateways. These tales speak of advanced technology, indistinguishable from magic.
And what's a conspiracy video without some Billy Carson, my boy?
The gods would go into these pyramids and they would vanish. They would vanish for years. Then they would reappear somewhere else, sometimes on Earth. Sometimes, according to the text, they would reappear on other planets. In the Sumerian tablets, they have something called the Duran key. And Enlil was talking to his sister about the Duran key. He said he was going to build a brand new one in Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates River in a brand new city. And this would allow him to walk from Earth straight back to the home planet. The Stargate most likely is somewhere underneath the pyramid or maybe inside the heart of the pyramid itself. And there are so many more accounts of pyramids being portals in ancient texts that state that they had something called the elixir of life that they would drink, and it would be for healing the heroes of old, these old ancient Anunnaki, the original pantheon that came to the earth, not the Greek pantheon, but the original pantheon out of Mesopotamia, and that it would give them immortal life. It would heal their bodies, heal their organs, and extend their lifespans.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw you did a video recently on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
What's your whole theory on Mars? And
Mars is
fire. The elixir of life, immortal life. You think that exists out there? I heard a wild theory that the rich people of this earth are so bored and tired of all their other entertainments or all other ways of using their money. They are so bored that they are now using their money on searching for eternal life, such as an elixir or some sort of mechanism, technology. Thought that was a pretty far out statement, but you know, kind of true. I could see it. I can see it.
In the early 1900s, a series of remarkable stone structures were discovered in remote locations around the world. These amazing artifacts, known as stone stargates, captivated the imagination of archaeologists, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. Carved with intricate patterns and symbols, their true purpose remained shrouded in mystery. Ancient folklore, however, spoke of these stargates as devices used by civilizations from distant solar systems to travel across the cosmos. By the 1950s, almost all the stargates had vanished without a trace, fueling rumors of government cover-ups and hidden agendas. Some theorized that governments around the world systematically confiscated the stargates and concealed them in top-secret facilities. Their whereabouts remain unknown. In the early 19...
Was that CERN I kept seeing pop up in that video? CERN's definitely opened up portals. I believe that 100%. What if the sun is a Stargate? What if the sun is a portal, dude? And they're just telling us something else. All right, now these are footage. This is footage and pictures of real Stargates that were found back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. How do I know they're real? Because I was there. Just kidding. I don't know if it's real. Dang, but they look real. Stargate. You know how they do that and they call it Illuminati? You know what I'm saying? They call that Illuminati to all the conspiracy theorists. What if the Illuminati is basically letting you know these are portals? Far out, far fetched. I'm just having fun with this, guys. Come on. Bear with me.
What was Iraq actually hiding? There's a theory that the U.S. stayed in Iraq for over a decade after it was liberated, not because of oil, but something way more powerful. In the 1920s, a British explorer discovered what was rumored to be the oldest known Stargate in the world, a device that's essentially able to take people across interstellar distances instantly. It was located at what is known today as the Great Ziggurat. However, in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fortified the ancient complex in an attempt to keep explorers from seeing what was hidden inside. Furthermore, strange ancient technology has been seen coming out of the Great Ziggurat, rumored to have come through the Stargate from an ancient civilization now living on the hidden planet Nibiru. People who have come out and spoken about these strange devices and coincidentally went missing soon after, with many more people in recent times coming forward claiming to have been involved in classified programs in Iraq where Stargate technology was used. Many people are wondering.
Bro, I find this so fascinating. I love it. I love it. I'm ready to jump. I'm ready to jump. Lord, hear me. Open up a Stargate. Let me in. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Put me to work. What's up? How can I serve? Got one more for that ass. One more? One more? Yeah? You like it too? I know. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your face. You love this stuff.
I'm sure you've seen the movie Stargate. Exactly same thing, except the frame is square, not round.
With it looking like water.
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody tell you what that is in this portal?
Only that it takes you from point A to point B. There's several portals on this planet that I know of, that I've been told of.
And has anybody said when you go from point A to point B, you're leaving this universe and going to another dimension?
I would say some probably do, but the ones that they have experimented on, the point A being per se, HARP. You know, HARP, there's a portal there. That portal takes you from HARP to right outside of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. And it's not a lingering travel. Once you step through the plane of water, per se, you're there. It's not like the movie Stargate that you see stars coming at you and clouds of space dust. Once you go through that plane of water, you're stepping on to point B.
So what you're describing is that we're using extraterrestrial technology that are portals in which you can move A to B in space-time, and we're using it on the Earth to go from Alaska to Hawaii.
The one that I know of that's been traveled through many times is at the HARP facility. From there to Hawaii, yes ma'am.
Do you know of any others?
A few, yes ma'am. There's several in South America. There's one that was discovered at the facility I was telling you about in Antarctica.
If you could name the locations of where these portals are, where would they be?
I see. Alberta, Canada. Of course, Alaska, Hawaii. 4 that I've been told in Argentina. 3 in Egypt. 2 that I know of in Australia. What part of Australia I do not know as of yet.
All of the portals related to some sort of extraterrestrial portal?
Yes, ma'am.
In terms of the portals, Did anybody say to you, we know that this particular alien created the portals?
No, but that has been an ongoing question that I would been trying to get answered myself.
Fire. What a great video today. I'm just gonna pat myself in the back for that, because I gave you guys some gems, some nuggets for you to go down the rabbit hole with me. Okay, if you choose to go do your own research. I didn't know there was some in Argentina. Now that I did not know. That was a lieutenant colonel that was in Antarctica, and he saw it for himself. Some of these stargates. I don't know why he blocked himself out. We can figure out who he was, but am I believing it? Not saying I am, but I'm not saying I'm not. You know what? I just believe. I believe it. I believe it. I believe. Anyway, God bless you. Thanks for watching, spending these 30 minutes with me, and let me know what you want to see next. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, guys. I love you. God bless you. Spread some love and positivity. Kindness is free. You heard? Love thy neighbor, even your enemies. And Jeremiah 17:5, never forget. Damned is the man who puts his trust in a man. Don't trust me. Trust God. But this world is a very supernatural world, my man. I know that much.